Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we're gonna hop back into these archetype breakdowns. It has been a great deal of time since I've been in one of these, and I think last time it was Shroom and Salsa, and before that Gogeta from the new set. So I want to jump into something I'm actually really interested at taking a look at, and that will be Turles. So yeah. I guess right before we get into it, just want to put the normal spiel out. I'm really close to 500 subs, so any amount of support really matters to me. And then after that, we'll be on the road to 1,000, and I'll be pumping out more content, just trying to see how the grind goes. On the horizon, we've got things like some SR and rare. We got a bunch of giveaways going on that are about to happen. Coming very soon. I mean, the pre-release this weekend, I'm gonna get some material, some product, and I'm gonna give that away after opening it on camera. I mean, we still got that collaboration with Spiral Maui Graphics that's gonna be happening if you love those metal cards as much as I do. So there's a lot going on. You can join the Discord to be able just to chat, shoot the crap, practice when we get around and stuff like that on Untap and whatnot. Discord link will be in the description, and then also we are definitely still plugging the Facebook group because it is the largest forum for this game that we have. So all in all, I hope you guys enjoy. Content is really fun to put out. Things have been a little wonky and hectic recently, but I'm still trying to do what I can when I can, you know what I'm saying? So I believe now we should just jump over to Shinran's Lair. And now that it's up, you have Turles. Now here's a wall of text, and I'm just gonna give a refresher on Turles. So basically, anytime you have a Crusher core that would go from the field to the drop zone, you remove it from the game instead. That's just how the archetype works. And then when this card is placed into your leader area, you're automatically gonna take a Tree of Might out of your deck, put it in your opponent's just battle zone. So that's another cool thing too. Then when this card attacks, you add up to one card from your life to your hand, and you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can choose one Turles Crusher core, put it in your hand. So that's hopefully a +2 off of swing, but a guaranteed +1. Then when your life is at 4 or less, or your opponent has 3 or more life flipped face up, we're going to be able to just awaken. He's a draw 1, untap 1. Now on his backside, he's still going to warp any Crusher core that's on the board, that if it's going to leave the board. But on top of that, when he does damage, you get to choose which damage your opponent takes to hand. So that's actually really crazy. And then activate main once per turn. You can put one card in your hand at the bottom of your deck, and then you just add a fruit of the Tree of Might from your drop zone to your hand. So that's pretty cool. Now, getting into the cards, I'm going to explain the choices. First, we've got Turles, Invader of Earth. He is arguably one of the best cards in the deck. When this card is played, flip up to one card in your opponent's life face up. If your leader card is a Turles Crusher core card, when this card attacks, look up to the top 5 cards from the up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, combo with up to 5 Turles Crusher core cards amongst them, shuffle your deck. So this guy is crazy in the sense that he's going to be able to look at the top card of your deck and essentially try to plop, in this build at least, 4 different cards onto the board at a time, and generally it's going to be like 2, but he can put up that many, and that is very important with this deck, because this deck requires you to be able to go into your bigger combos. You're going to need to either have multiple Crusher core cards in your combo area, which this card does immaculately from your deck, not from your hand, or it's going to ask you to have multiple Crusher cores on your board, which this also sets up. So far and away, this is the best card for setup in this deck. But to really understand what this deck is about, you have to look at Tree of Might, okay? Permanent. While in the battle area, this card can't be placed in the drop area by your own skills. Reduce the combo cost of all Turles Crusher core cards in your opponent's hand and battle area by 1. Why does it say opponent? Because it's going to be immediately on your opponent's side of the board. So it's going to be actually reflecting upon you if you were playing Turles. Auto, if your opponent's energy is mono green, which is your energy, if this card is in your battle area at the start of your main phase, choose up to 1 card in your life, or choose 1 card in your life and flip it face up. If you do, your opponent adds up to 1 fruit of the Tree of Might from their deck to their hand, shuffles their deck if they look through it. And then that's last little ability. If your leader card is a Turles Crusher Core card, place this card in your opponent's battle area in active mode. So if you happen to hard cast it again, shift it. Now, this is cool because that means at the beginning of every turn, you can search a tree, Fruit of the Tree of Might. We're gonna come to these plays kind of later. There's a lot of things you can do here. So the other cards we're gonna go into as the super combo, because the super combo for Turles Crusher Core, while it can be searched, it can't be played from the top of your deck. So I just kind of decided that this will be a good card to have as the super combo, because you can't bring the Turles Crusher Core Cocoa or Cacao card to the field, and this card is just a superior super combo. It's a +1 inherently. So there's that. Well, it's a break even, but you're gonna see another card. You're not just gonna see one card, you're gonna see two. So that's in there. Then when you look at the battle cards, a lot of it is archetype specific. So this is kind of the issue I feel like could be an issue with the deck. This is what we call a thick engine, okay? Like, you're gonna see when the deck plays, because of this 1-drop's effect, you're going to need to play a fair amount of Crusher Cores, because you can't flip top 5 and whiff. It will literally make this card a waste of 1 energy, and that's not balling. So we're gonna like talk about that some more. But yeah, so that's not exactly the coolest. So you have to be running a fair amount of this. Then of course you have 1 card as the Tree of Might, and then you have to be running a couple of copies of the Fruit of the Tree of Might. I personally like 3, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, you have to be running enough of these guys to see them. And then on top of that, well, we'll talk a little bit more about it as I go in. So 3 Fruit of the Tree of Might, it's a Champa for, you know, your cards, but if you use it on a Turles, they gain double strike. Well, sorry, let me back up. It gives 20k to a card if your leader is a Turles, okay? But you have to flip 1 face-up card in your opponent's life face down. And then on top of that, if it's a Turles card, whether it's a battle card or your leader, it's gonna give them double strike as well. So it's a very, very strong card. Now, the cards that we're gonna be talking about right now, we're just gonna go over the Turles Crusher Cores. We've got Lakasi. Basically, he just has the unique that most of these will have, where if your leader card is a Turles Crusher Core, when this card is used in a combo from your deck or hand, if this card will be placed in the owner's drop area from the combo area, you may play it in rest mode instead, but they have unique, so you can't flood the board. It's got 1 cost to combo and only 3k. The reason for this is because Tree of Might is going to lower their combo cost to 0. But when you're comboing up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, you need to make them lower combo costs, because otherwise they'd be busted. So now you've got auto. If your leader card is a Turles Crusher Core, when this card is played, you can play up to 1 green Raisin card with an energy cost of 2 from your deck, then shuffle your deck, draw 1 card, and then choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. This is actually really, really cool. This is going to be able to, once again, you're going to be able to cycle through your cards faster, but also the card that it searches out is Raisin, who is going to be the blocker of your deck. And then if he gets played, you can search for Lakasi and play that card. So that's awesome. They just kind of search each other out, allow you to fill your board up more for some of the Turles that come out later. Next is Diaz, pretty good card. If your leader card is a Turles Crusher Core card, and this card is using a combo from your deck or your hand, when this card would be placed in its owner's drop area, yeah, same effect. Sorry, I'm so sorry I started reading that again. Woof. When this card is played, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 Turles Crusher Core card among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this guy thins out your deck more after coming out. So we can potentially come off your deck with this guy, then thin out your deck again. And then you have Amand, which wasn't supposed to be clicked on, so I'm sorry about that. But Amand says you can pay a green, and you can send this card to its owner's warp, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or more and KO it. You can't play copies of this card for the turn. Okay, cool. So this can hit Broly Chain depending on where they are. This hits every Dark Broly. This hits Gotenks cards. This hits some of the Shenron cards in the Omega Shenron list. This actually hits a surprising amount of cards that are relevant to this meta. So I really do feel like this is a good card. However, this card is very subpar against blue, whether it be because they have barrier or because a lot of their power cards are 4 costs. This card is AIDS against blue, but it hits most of the other format, so that's actually very nice. Now, those are the Turles cards or his Crusher Core, But now we're going to get into the Turles cards that you want to start flinging on the board. You've got Turles Crusher Card Commander, or Crusher Core Commander. He's got Unique and Deflect, but choose one card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. When this card is played, draw 2 cards, and then when this card gains plus 5,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Flip up to 1 card in your opponent's life face up. That's awesome, but you can cheat them out. If you have 2 or more Crusher Core in your combo area, pay a green, cheat them out. Play this card from your hand. Cool. And then you've got this guy, the other SR, Unique, Deflect, Critical. If you have 3 more Crusher Cores in your battle area and have 3 or more energy, reduce the energy cost in this card in your hand by 2. So he's a 2-drop. And during your turn, all Turles Crusher Cores in your battle area gain 10,000 power, making the blockers, or the Raisin and Lakasi, 15s, but making Amand and Diaz 19s. And that's very powerful. The Turles are also going to get real thick. When this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So that's some destruction on a stick. We like that. Now, since he has critical, using Tree of Might on him is going to make him a double strike critical. He's going to be a 30, like, it's actually disgusting. Like, so this guy is a Turles Crusher Core. So he's going to, by his own effect, be at 25. Giving him the Tree of Might is going to make him a 45k double strike. Do not underestimate that. That is huge. So, yeah, we're on that one. Now you've got the Kill Driver. It's just a very, very good card in general. You've got, your leader card is a Turles Crusher Core. Flip up to 1 card in your opponent's life face up. Choose up to 1 of your leader cards or battle cards against plus 10,000 power. And then you get to choose one. Draw a card. So on defensive, you're going to use it like an Unbreakable. But if it's on your turn, you could either use it like an Unbreakable, or you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy and KO it, which works against most of the format right now. Wonderful. Then the other card I want to get to is King Piccolo, Dimensional Conqueror. He's the Rejuvenate. He's a Rejuvenate. He's good. He's a Rejuvenate Unison. But the thing I like here is Activate Main. If your leader card is mono green, your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand. Play this card from your hand with a marker on it. You can't play Unison cards this turn. Okay, if you're going second, there are times where you could swing with Turles, punch them, and give them the 7th card, and then use your 1 energy to play this guy. There are times where on turn 2, you could do the same thing, except you can have an even bigger play. And I'm gonna see if I can show those. So this card is really good. +1, choose 1 card in your hand, place it on this card. You can, you and your opponent draw a card, and then you choose up to 1 green battle card with an original energy cost of 1 in your hand and play it. At the end of the turn, your opponent chooses up to 1 card in their hand and place it at the bottom of their deck. Okay, that 1 drop is this guy. And I'm gonna show you guys some really, really explosive plays that you can get off with this guy and this guy in conjunction. Last but not least, Charismatic, because we play green Unison. Dormant, because it's the best negate in the game almost. And then since this deck can't play Cell Xeno because the warping the Crusher Cores pretty much forces you to not play Cell Xeno because Successor requires this in the drop, this card is the one we're going to go for now. So we're going to jump in Untap, and I'm going to show you just some of the basic plays that I feel like you can play with this deck. Alright, so we're in Untap. The first thing we're going to do is find the Tree of Might. And we're just going to put this on my opponent's side of the board, okay? Awesome. Now, the couple things I want to point about this deck is it's cool to be flipping your opponent's life face up, but you never know how your opponent's going to be able to respond to that. So looking at this in hand, you're going to be able to go through your cards a fair amount. The important thing is that I feel like we see a King Piccolo, we see a 1-drop Turles, and past that, we need to see the other Turles, the 3-drop Turles. So I'm going to put back most of this hand and shuffle and hope we get the magic. Dormant, not what we're looking for. Amon, not what we're looking for. Okay, the 1-drop Turles, we're close. We are really close. Okay, we almost got everything we need. So I'm going to put these on life points now. But what I mean by like at the beginning of their main phase, you're gonna flip up a life with Tree of Might. That's cool, but they might have an effect that takes life, in which case they can just take their face up life to rob you of that count. So I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be as easy as people think to get Turles up the way they think it should happen. So either way, we're gonna roll the 20-sided die. 14, and then my opponent could roll a 5. So I'll be going first. One of the things I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna make a token. I don't know, like Ghost Warrior, sure. We'll just put this out here. So we're gonna put this here, and I'm going to put this as how many counters they have, or how many life they have, you know? Okay, so this is life, how much life they have face up. So we're gonna start off, I'm gonna go first. So I don't get to draw. Lots of these cards are important, but we're gonna keep the charismatic, especially since we have the Frieza. And charismatic since we have the Piccolo. We're gonna put that there. And then the first thing I'm gonna do, since in this format, unless you're facing like Red Broly, playing a 1-drop is not live. I mean, if I'm facing Red Broly, I'm gonna play Dormant. I'm gonna keep Dormant up. But playing a 1-drop is not live because Red Broly, like a lot of decks can just smoke it. So we're just gonna chill here, and we're gonna pass, unfortunately. So the first thing that's gonna happen is they're gonna flip a life face up because of a Tree of Might. I'm going to be able to search for a Fruit of the Tree of Might. And I see that I have all 3 in there. Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna get this to hand, and they're gonna flip a single life face up. So that's cool. And I'm gonna shuffle my deck. Now, you know, they'll probably do their thing, but the whole thing is if their leader can take life, which most leaders can, cool. This is a 0 now. We're back at 0 because they would have chosen the life that I can see. Keep that information, you know, solid. So now, you know, they might swing on me. I'll get 1 card to hand. And that's the kind of card we needed. So this next turn is going to be very interesting. I will be able to just draw for turn, right? I wouldn't normally want to put this there, but every other card in the hand is pretty essential, except because this guy won't come out until next turn. But I could probably put Kill Driver down because chances are I might tap out on this one. So we're going to put this guy here, right? The first thing I'm going to do is swing with my leader because I need to force another card in their hand. I'm going to take a card to hand. Okay, that's Diaz. And I'm going to look at the top 5 cards of my deck. And we still want to take a plus to hand, but we kind of want to leave these Lacassi's in deck. See, this is kind of the issue with this because I'm about to go off with Turles, and I don't want anything to be taken off. In fact, like I could swing. It really depends on how many cards they have in there. If they have 7, I don't even do this. I just go straight into Piccolo. But the whole thing is, as long as they have 7, my whole purpose is to make it into 7. We're gonna put King Piccolo here. He's gonna come out with a counter, right? And then we're gonna activate his ability. We're going to +1 him. I'm going to put 1 card at the bottom of my deck. It will be the Fruit of the Tree of Might because I don't need it, you know? Actually, wait, sorry. I need to put a card under him. Woof, we almost goofed here. In this case, I'm going to put Diaz under him. No, we need to be smart about that. We want to keep him in hand just in case. So I'm going to put this Turles under him. It is my next turn's play, but it is what it is. Doing that, we both get to draw a card. I drew another 1-drop Turles, and then we both get to, well, I get to play a 1-drop. So this guy, when he gets played, my opponent's gonna flip a life face up. Maybe they might have something I can swing on, but chances are I'm gonna swing with Turles, Invader of the Earth, or Invader of Earth, and then I'm gonna activate his effect. So right now they have 1 life face up. That effect is gonna let me peep at my top 5. And I see, cool, I can go from the deck. So I'm gonna combo with both Amon, and I'm gonna combo with Diaz. Even though I said that in completely the opposite order. Shuffle my deck. So these guys are going to be in the combo zone. Now that they're in the combo zone, I get to tap 1 to play Turles Crusher Core Commander, right? And this guy is going to come in. So now that all this stuff has happened, this guy's swinging for 10,000 to their 10,000. Cool. So that's 1 attack, that's 2 attacks. Now these guys are going to come into play tapped, and now I have multitude of effects to resolve. The first effect I'm going to resolve is Diaz. I'm going to look at the top 3 cards in my deck, and I'm going to check. Actually, this guy will come in first, right? Auto, choose 1, this, yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, when this card is played, so I believe these guys were afterwards, and this guy got played before then, so I'll have to use his effect first. We're going to bottom deck the Fruit of the Tree of Might, and we're going to draw 2. That being a Fruit of the Tree of Might, and another one of these. Then afterwards, I'm going to activate Diaz's effect, and I'm going to look at the top 3. And I'm going to take a Turles Crusher Core. Great, my next turn's play. That's exactly what I wanted. And we're going to shuffle this. So that's definitely cool. But now that we have this, we've swung with 10k, 10k. Now we can swing with 15k on their leader. And then after swinging with 15k, we can now swing on their leader with this guy. He's got 20,000 power and it'll swing. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4 swings on turn 2, and that's pretty cool. Now, however, they're going to take that life, you know, and they've gone up to 2 cards face up in life, but they're probably going to go back down to 0 because they're just going to take that as damage. So you see what I mean? You're not necessarily going to be able to just take this guy and, you know, just immediately flip 3 cards face up. It's not quite like that. Now, what's going to happen next is these guys are pretty weak, you know. If they swing, I will try to make it hard for them, you know. I will play a dormant, and from that dormant, I might just drop Amon. Seems legit. They might swing on a couple of these. This guy is probably more dangerous. I mean, he is going to be a 15k swing, but they can get some easy pot shots off on these. I think the first thing they swing on is this guy because they don't want him going off again. And then from there, you get to choose. Now, this guy is unique, and putting him off the board allows me to play him again. So I feel like the best choice to play would be either my Unison or kill Amon, because Amon is removable. So I'm just gonna put him in the graveyard, okay? Cool. Next turn, we're going to draw for turn. After drawing for turn, we got Lakasi. We want to keep most of the, oh, I'm so sorry. We don't get Lakasi because at the beginning of their turn, they flipped the life face up. They probably just took the life again. See, that's something I do have to remember. We're gonna get another Tree of Might from the deck, and we're gonna shuffle our deck. So now we're gonna draw for turn, and it's gonna be this Turles. We've got 2 of them in hand, so I think it's safe to say that we can put this back. We have 2 Crusher Cores, and so I think here we want to try to build up the field again, but we can play, we can definitely play this guy. I think actually what we're gonna do is swing with the leader first again. I think that's actually the best move. We have a lot of plays here. So swing with this guy again, right? And what we can do here is take a life, right? To hand, cool. And we're gonna look at the top 5 cards of our deck. After looking at the top 5 cards of our deck, we can take this guy to hand. We can definitely take that to hand. And then we'll shuffle. After doing that, we can combo this guy, because I do want to play him again. So we'll combo this guy, making him a 15k swing, and we'll drop that. We can +1 on the Piccolo, and +1 on the Piccolo, we'll put, we can get away with some of this. We'll put this guy under him, and then once again, we'll cheat out this Turles. We'll both draw a card, and then we'll cheat out that Turles. That's unfortunate. So now, after doing that, I'm going to, how many do we have here? See, this is weird. I guess if we really wanted to, because we had the Lakasi in hand, it probably would have been better just to combo with this guy to put him on the field. And then after putting him on the field, alt face, sorry. After putting him on the field, we get to then, I don't think I would even search out the other guy because we're gonna lower our chances of pulling him out. But you know what? Deck thinning is winning. So let's find a, what is his name? Reason? Yeah, okay. Lakasi. So we're gonna get the Lakasi out, shuffle the deck, and Lakasi is gonna be in rest mode. But now we have the conditions to tap this and play this guy, because we have 3 or more Crusher Cores on grave, or on field. So now that we played this guy, all these guys are gonna get boosted. And so now what we can do is I can swing here for 15. That's another 15k swing. I can swing here for 19, okay? I can swing here with this guy. After swinging here with this guy, I'm going to be able to, of course, look at the top 5. See, absolutely nada. But what we're gonna do is we're still going to combo with this, and we're going to combo with this from our hand. And we are going to activate the ability of this to play this Turles. And when we play this Turles, none of this is going to come to the grave, but this guy is already at 14, so he's at 20k coming in hot. So we're going to do that, and then when we activate this guy's effect, we're going to put this in the bottom, and we're going to draw 2. Cool. We got the Majin Buu SCR, but I'm not sure what we're doing this turn. We have no defense, you know? See what I'm saying? But we are now able to, we've had a 15K, a 15K, a 19K, a 20K, and then we're still going to come through and swing with both a 20K critical or 25K critical, and then this one's actually going to be a 30K normal. And that's cool. That was a lot of swings on the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So between turn 3, we've generated 3 attacks. So that was kind of a long one, but it kind of actually showed you almost everything this deck could do with its general archetype, you know? So I'm gonna try this one more time. I know the video is kind of getting long, so I want to cut it short. Once again, we're gonna pull out Tree of Might. There's a lot of card interactions in here, so it's not really a short video. So we're gonna get the Tree of Might back in the opponent's side. Afterwards, I'm going to put another token in here. And I'm gonna set this up a little bit faster this time. All right, so now we've got that. Let's see if we can get the good setup again. I mean, I got a 19, they get 11. I think for the sake of this, let's go second this time because we went first last time. So we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Most of this hand, we're just gonna yeet right back because we just don't need it. Like, we literally don't need it. It's the only card I want to see. Now we need a Piccolo, and we need oof. Okay, so Piccolo was really the only thing that was gonna make that hand absolutely busted. But we still got one more draw, so we're gonna see. Let's draw to life. And I say absolutely busted, like absolutely busted is a thing. No, it's not. So my turn, they would start. Beginning of the turn, they're going to flip a life face up. They'll probably, well, it's their first turn. So once they have a leader that doesn't need to swing, I'm probably safe on keeping that at least till my turn. So we're gonna add a Fruit of the Tree of Might to my hand, and I'm going to end up passing. Well, they're gonna pass. So I now get to draw, seeing that Turles. We've got way too many of these cards in my hand, so we're going to charge this. I am initially going to swing with this guy. We're going to draw a card from life to hand, and then we're going to look at the top 5. As you can already see, this is kind of weird, okay? I mean, again, thinning is winning, so I will take that, and I'm going to shuffle. Because I don't have the unison, I don't necessarily want to leave this guy open to being swung on because I can't produce the combo area if need be. So I'm just gonna let them do their thing. They've gone down to 0 because I've swung on them and they've taken damage. So the next turn, they're gonna flip a life face up. I have all of my Fruit of the Tree of Mights in hand, unfortunately. So that's kind of sucky. They can swing on me with a card, that's cool. My next turn, because I mean, at this point, I'm not really doing anything. We can charge this, right? And then I will, yeah, this is probably a 0 again. I will try to get closer to Awakening, I suppose. I still am kind of weakened. So let's actually swing again. But there's no reason to really fish. We need to do a couple things here. So I'm gonna tap this and I'm gonna play this. They're gonna flip a life face up. That's cool. After flipping a life face up, see, I wish I had one more way of doing this. Like a kill driver might not be bad this turn. But we're gonna flip that face up. Swing. He's going to look at the top 5. I should be able to find something off this. Okay, so we got Diaz and Lacassi, or Raisin. So we're gonna be able to do that. From doing that, we're going to be able to pay this one, drop this guy from my hand, and that's cool. So that's a total of 10K coming at them. This guy is going to get played, and immediately when he happens, I'm going to be able to put this to the bottom of the deck. I'm going to be able to draw 2. Wow, super late. It's okay though. And after playing those 2, we're going to be able to put this guy in rest mode and this guy in rest mode. And when this happens, I'm going to activate Diaz's effect first because I don't want to whiff. And we're gonna see Amond, so Amond is going to come to my hand. And then after doing that, I'm going to activate Lacassi's effect, no, Raisin's effect to find Lacassi. I'm gonna play this guy in tapped. So now we're kind of set up for next turn. I mean, I'm going to be able to swing at you, and pretty much I have so much on the board, I don't really mind adding to my hand, because at this point, you have to assess my board or you have to assess my life. So, oops, we were not supposed to draw. We're gonna put that on the top. We're supposed to be top 5. So I'm gonna look at the top 5, and I mean, I could put this 1-drop in here, and then shuffle my deck and cry at those 2 super combos. So that's cool. And then we still have this 20k swings coming through. So at this point, again, they have to assess this, but they're about to go to 3 energy and literally have so much of their stuff they can do. They're at 0 open life, I know that, but now they're gonna go up to 1 flipped up life, and I should be able to find a Tree of Might, put it in my hand. So this is cool. I have a thick hand, I have plays for next turn, but I'm at the mercy of their 3 energy plays. And against blue, this could be disastrous. They could clear out this entire thing with an Obuni if they have a Xeno on board to give them the 4th energy. So this is kind of a really, really precarious space to be in. Yes, of course, next turn, I can play a 3rd energy. I have access to Turles. I'm going to Awaken. I can play my Piccolo. Like, there's a lot of things, and that'll put my Dormant online, you know? So there's a lot of things that can happen here. But you can kind of see this deck requires you to play a lot of cards that aren't necessarily amazing. And then it also requires you to have turns where you could search these only when you need to and put them at the bottom of your deck for effects. Or, I don't know, you can open up with all 3 of them like I did. So, yeah, I'm definitely liking Turles, and I think there's a lot to explore. I think running the Xeno version is a very different version, and maybe I'll touch on that. But it's cool, you know? It's definitely cool. So I definitely am looking forward to how this deck runs. I mean, you have to I think you have to run the Unison package, because if you don't run the Unison package without Frieza and Dormant, you kind of lack all of the defense. But I do want to see how thin this core can get and still work, because right now I feel like it is very, very thick, and that doesn't leave room for you to play many cards. And you don't want to go over 50, because then you won't be hitting your 1-drops correctly. You won't see them, you won't see the Piccolo. There's a lot of things that I kind of feel are weird about this. But that being said, I know this is one of the longer ones, but there's a lot to explain. I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like the content, think about subscribing, and I will keep churning out more. We're almost at 500, then we're on the road to 1K. Keep your eyes out for the giveaways I'm about to be doing on the channel, and I will see you guys the next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.